Hi and welcome to Dressage and Lightness Online. I'm Leanne Williams and today we're out here with Wilber here, and Wilber is having his first day with a education of the mouth session. So we had the bridle on him yesterday, and I know that during his lunging session, and I know that the owner has also had the bridle on him, so he's quite comfortable. He's lovely in the mouth. There's no difficulty in putting the bridle on. He's quite confident with all of that. You can see there's a bit of chewing here, so you know, we'll have a little look at that. That's maybe some young horse stuff. So the process we're going to do now in regards to allowing us, I should say, to get on him, is that we need some steering. So steering is our stop and our turn left and our turn right. And ultimately, our aim is to teach him from a postural position to come onto the bit. So we're going to create the energy, flex the pelvis, lift the core muscle, telescope the neck until they come down from the pole down onto the bit. So we can start that process right now by switching on some muscles that are going to aid in that, and getting him more and more comfortable with anything that we need to do with the bit, because that is our control element when we are riding. So let's get started. I'm going to turn him around so that you can see the side of his neck without the mane. Then we can talk about his natural conformation. Oh, he's only a little dot of a thing, and he's a bit busy this morning. We've had some particularly hot weather here. You're okay. We've had some particularly hot weather here, and last night we had a cool change. So we went from 39 degrees, I think, to 14 or 15 today, so they're all a bit fresh. You need to come forward. So, as I said, I'm not familiar with him. I will just keep playing around, but we don't like the backward stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the contact. Now for us, contact equals relaxation of the jaw, which relaxation gives us some mobility, but not all of this pulling around and snatching around. So ideally I'd like him to be standing square, but he's a bit busy, so I'm not going to get too involved. But what I am going to do is just separate my hand, and all this does is straightens the bit in his mouth, and you can see he's not particularly comfortable with that. Good. So I'm going to follow him. It just straightens the bit in his mouth. It's not pulling backwards, it's not pulling down. Good boy. What I'd need to do is keep his head and neck dead in front of my chest, and when I do separate my thumbs, I'll bring him back up in a sec. I would like a quiet chew. I don't want all of this pulling forward or swinging around. I just would like a very quiet chew and swallow. Not an opening of the mouth and a crunching of the teeth, not a pulling backwards, not a running backwards, not an inverting, not a swinging left, not a swinging right. Just a separation here. You can see I'm separating, straightening the bit in his mouth, and then a quiet chew with a relaxed response. Good. And in and amongst all of that, I'd also like to hear a big deep breath in and out. I'll bring him back up and we'll start again. And once again, this process will just take as long as it takes. So I'm going to stay with him and separate the bit in his mouth. This is getting much better response. So you'll get a bit more confident with my aids. I've got no tension in my body. I'm just separating. Good. And that's the response I want. That he just very quietly relaxes. I'm going to stay here till he stops all of this. I'm not asking him to do anything. There you go. Good man. Good. And so what that does is it starts to relax the base of the neck. We can see we've got a better front leg position now. He's a bit ducky footed naturally. So, and then with that, he also plats. So he's got a few little issues, and as every horse does, there's no such thing as perfect. Our job is to analyse them and then work with them. Good. Now you can see, because he's an Arab, his natural stance is to have shorter muscles on the top of his body and longer muscles, so that's shorter along the top line and then longer along the bottom. So he gets quite contracted here through the brachiocephalic muscle, and you can see he's got no top line through here. We need to build this up so it comes level with the spinous processes. Good. And we would like to see that he starts to build up this area here, which is trapezius and rhomboid. Now, if you're not familiar with the names of the muscles, we do have a glossary, and in that glossary it's got descriptions and diagrams of the muscles that we talk about. So go and have a look there. So in here is where we would like to build up, so we don't have this indentation, and out of this wither we create. So he's going to come up eventually, he's going to come up eventually about 2 inches. Good, I'm going to do the same 8 again, so I'm separating in here. Good. That was a nice relaxed response. And in the end, this is what I would like him to relax into, a nice telescoping of the neck. So that's super, but he is biting at this bit quite strongly. I'm not happy with that. So I am going to what I call contact him again. Oops, he doesn't like that, it's not a downward pressure, it's just sideways. And if I'm sitting on his back, I need to be able to pick those reins up without having this big backwards movement. So I'm just going to stay here. You're right. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. I've only got very little connection here. Stay until he thinks forward. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's just a bit concerned, so I still come wide again until I let down. Good. And then I follow him down. So if I use those reins when I'm up on top, we cannot have that response. So good. Oh, there's a good breath. Well done. And so there's the telescoping. You've got the other side of his neck now, but you can see the shaping. He crunches a little bit on that bit. So I'm just going to stay here with this contacting, and there he goes again. We can't have that response. That response will need to go away. I'm going to hit the fence, mate. Oh, he's clever. No, right at this moment. Now you can see I've come wide with the rein. Good. Good, I'm still staying with him with a little bit of connection here. I've come wide. Well done, well done. So, in essence what we're doing is an action-reaction, which is putting an action in the corners of his mouth. The reaction I need is relaxation. Everything we do is an action, and to that action everything we want is some kind of response, some kind of reaction. Good boy. Good. Good, and I'm staying here again. And he'll get less and less concerned about the little aids that then I'm putting. There's I can assure you there's absolutely no pressure on his mouth. Good, I'm just coming wide. As he gets confident with the pressure in the corners, it just goes into the corners of his lips, not on his tongue. He puts it on his tongue when he does that, not on his tongue. We just cannot have him going to that position. Good, good, yeah, yeah. Very good. Let him have a little think about that. Cannot have it going to that position. Good. I'll come back around to the centre. He's still doing quite a good pull forward. But that's good that he's pushing into it now. You can still see I'm very relaxed in my elbows, and I've just got the separation, and as soon as I get the relaxation I reward him. There we go, we've completely let go. Once again that's given me relaxation of brachiocephalic. And again contact. Good, I want mobility of the jaw. Good boy, that was a much better reaction. He went to think that he doesn't like the pressure. It's no backwards pressure, it's just sideways, straightening the bit. Good. Very good. Very good. Very good. I don't think that's an action. I should say reaction that we want. Stay wide so you can say I have less pressure. If I come to the rein sideways, I put less pressure there. Here I've got immediate pressure. Good. And we keep playing with this because I need to develop the confidence. We cannot have him worried with the contact. I'm going loose again when he does that. I cannot have him worried in the contact in the slightest. And I'm going, no, we don't do that. Good, good, very good. Yeah, and he's going to do it again, so I go wide, just coming wide. All I'm doing is putting very light pressure in the corners of his mouth, saying, I need you to reach to a relaxed position. He's got to get here mentally himself, and he will. Good boy. Good, good. So this is stage number 1, phase 1, contact. That's in our glossary too, if you need to get another description of it. It's all there. Good. And I stay wide, relax. Yeah. Don't you dare, that's not a trick. It's very, very quick to think backwards, this horse. Good. That is not beneficial when we're under saddle. Good. You can feel he sucks back and he contracts this muscle at the base of the neck. We need to keep getting him to relax that muscle. Good. You know, he's a sensitive little fellow, and this is paramount at this stage in his training that we don't lose his confidence. She's showing us a little bit of anxiety. I have to recognise it as anxiety, not as disobedience. And then he panics. So this is the lesson for today, this is the lesson for today. Fit into the corners of his mouth, yes. Because tomorrow, good, stay wide. That's okay, stay wide. Stay wide, good. Come wide. Good. Good boy, so stay wide. And he's got to sort this way through. It's not dissimilar to when we did the tying up. He's got to make his way through to relaxation, make his way through to acceptance, and he's going to get a little bit, he's a bit worried, and then he gets a bit cross. You saw his eye turn just before he did that. He's getting cross at me, but I have to be able to put the bit in the corners of his mouth. When we're up there, we have to be able to stop. We have to be able to turn. Every time I feel him suck backwards, I'm just putting it to the reins because it gives me more width. Then I don't have as much of a chance of even banging him in the mouth. I don't want to scare him. This isn't about, he's got to get his way through to the other side. Good. Good. Very good. Very good. So, once again, I'll reiterate, phase number 1 is contact, acceptance of contact. Now we're going to be able to get to phase number 2. Phase number 2 is balance. That's where I can put a little bit of pressure up the line of the cheek piece into the corners of his mouth and ask him to shift the balance back a little bit. I am actually not going to do that much because he's very quick to shift that balance and, as you've seen, get up on his hind legs, and this is not something that we want to develop or accentuate in any way, shape or form. So I'll just do very quiet, that's it. It's a very small shift. Now what this does, I'm not sure, oops, there he goes again, how much Tash can zoom in here, is if we keep, I'm going to come forward so you can see, come forward, good boy. Good. If when we do, I'm going to stand at the front again, but you can have a look. We would like to keep the base of the jaw in a 90-degree angle and the base of the neck. So here we would like a 90-degree angle. What we would also like to do is maintain this angle here parallel with the angle of his shoulder. Now, when I do the very light push-up this is all it needs to be, into the corners of his mouth to rebalance him up the line of the cheek piece. We would like to get him to flex trapezius and rhomboid just in here, and what that'll do is help us build up that muscle. You'll see the photographs, the weekly photographs that we're taking, and that he changes on a weekly basis. And so there it is right there as he does the telescoping of the neck. So I'm going to go back to the front, and you can have a little look at me very, very lightly doing that. And what that will do is we switch on these muscles here, trapezius, rhomboid, we get to let go of brachiocephalic, and then we get the telescoping down. The other thing I would like to see is if I drop a plumb line down from the middle of the shoulder, it should go down the middle of the forearm, the middle of the knee, the middle of the cannon bone, the middle of the fetlock, the back of the coronet band. So a 90-degree angle, the front leg should be on a 90-degree angle to the ground. Good, so we're going to go contact, always start at the beginning, there it goes again. Stay with me, mate. That's a boy. Yeah. Good. Now I'm going to go contact again. Good. Then press, whoops. That was the slightest of little touches in the corners of his mouth. Yep, I know. Now you're going to have to deal with this. There we go. And so what happened then, now if I've got the jawline parallel with the line of the shoulder, so there's the line of the shoulder, there's the line of the jaw. We press up very lightly here. I can see it switch on. He just took it himself, and he's looking out the driveway. Good. And then let him down into that telescoping. Now as we let him down into the telescope, he lets go through this muscle gets relaxed. He's looking at the driveway again. Oh. Good. I just have to get his concentration back. Now the contact will get his concentration back when I contact him. Good. When I contact him. And let it down again. Good. Well done, mate. Well done. So that's the second phase. Is the contact is number one, balance is number two. Number three that we're going to get through today is the bend. So he keeps positioning himself in unusual positions, and I'm a bit stuck against the fence, but I have to just go with him because his behaviour he needs to learn is to no avail. And that we are just going to stay here and work with his body, good, until he breathes a little bit more. Good, there's the little telescoping. Now I'm going to take him to a bend to the left. Oh. That means I still keep the bit in the corners of his mouth. Good. And ask for the bend. No. So very quietly bring him around. There's a good breath. Keep the neck long. Good. Yeah, I've just got to stay with him. I'm just looking for this left bend. Good. And around he comes. So very quietly. Oh. I let that rein slide again. He's not to panic, and he does panic. And then the bend again, good boy. So we're teaching him turn left. I'm bringing him around with my right hand, which was on the left side of the bit. Good. And you can see he's very straight with his front legs. And then I can push him up a little bit. No, I know. Does not like that. Does not like that contact up into the... that we're going to need to use for steering. Good boy. And good turn. And then to me again. Good. Lift him up. Ah, good. Then he didn't go any further than what I asked. Well done. Lift him up again. Up. And the turn. Yeah. Good, and the turn. Yep, so he's stretching a little bit at the moment. Good. Good boy. Lift him up again. Yeah, that's it. And give him a moment. That was good. So we need to work through these exercises. Yep. He's got a little bit of ice cream in his mouth now. And change the shape. Develop the confidence. This is day one of the bit. Going to do the bend to his right now. My left. Develop the confidence. It's just a daily exercise. Stay here with me. He's a bend horse, so I've done his easier side first. Good boy. Oh, that was easy. Good. Well done, mate. And I turn him again. Very good. Very good. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, there's the reach. Excellent. You'll see that his front legs are straight. He's a little bit standing out with the right front leg. I'm going to let him have that. Good boy. Okay, so I'm just going to bring him up to you. So that was Wilber's session for today. We're going to go on with that a bit more. We take every day as it comes, and he was a little bit anxious with that, what we classify as the contact, and that needs to continue to improve. And we'll see you again tomorrow.